So Bishop, I want to ask you this, and I'm gonna turn you loose. Social media,
Mm.
because as we talk about a myriad of things, and at the core of it, reinvention, retooling, rethinking, reconsidering, and all of those kinds of things. What is your frame of thinking around how you approach social media? And how, and if you were counseling me on location, like how should people be as we think of the broader picture of reinvention and repositioning yourself and all of those kinds of things?
Social media is a tool. The technology is a tool. You can either swipe left and get a date. You can Google up porn, or you can go into LinkedIn and take courses. It depends on whose hands you put it in, what it becomes.
Mm,
It's nebulous. Okay, you can either show me how fine you are or how smart you are.
mm,
You can build a brand for yourself that you will attract whatever bait you put out there.
mm,
If you put body bait out there, you will attract seekers.
mm,
If you put brain food out there, you will attract intellectuals. If you put scriptures out there, you will attract church people. Whatever you put out there, if I bake a cake, I bake, so, and if I bake a cake and I put it out there, I will attract every chef, every caterer, everybody who does anything will come on my page and look. I've had caterers tell me how hot they got, that I got so frustrated that I got so many hits for a cake they baked, and they're running a catering company and they can't get the hits that I get. But what you put, if I take a picture with my dogs and put it on Instagram, all the dog and hashtag dog lovers, all the dog lovers all over the world will connect with me. What an amazing tool. Being a baby boomer, I didn't grow up with those kinds of tools. I had to build my church frying chicken with one hand and preaching funerals with the other one and working a part-time job. Oh my God, if I would have had this. Oh, I want a chance to do it over. Please let me do it over. Let me have another turn. It wasn't fair. I had a little radio station on, a little radio program in a little small city called the Master's Plan that reached about 2,000 people, and I was working it for blood. But that's all I had. You can pick up your phone and talk and speak, and they can hear you in South Africa. You have no excuse not to be successful, but you're not putting out the right kind of bait.
mm.
You're not marketing who you are and what you have and how you solve problems and how you fix things. You're appealing to people on a very base, carnal level.
Mm.
And you don't have to worry about that because that's going to always come anyway.
Mm.
So you never have to bait for that, for what you already are. I can see that. So giving me more of that only cheapens that.
Mm. Mm.
Give me, what else do you have?
Mm.
What else can you do? What do you think? What are you building? What are you reading? What are you working on? What quote leaped out at you? What did you think about it? Get other people to chime in on it. Start feeding where you want to go, rather than reinforcing where you've already been.
Mm. Mm.
If you are willing to lose the fraternity of your history, then you can embrace the membership of your destiny. Now, that's a quick statement, but that's a hard thing to do because we are very afraid to lose the fraternity of our history. It's familiar, it's safe, we know the rules, it's got a level playing floor, and wherever we know the rules and the floor is level, we win. Basketball, football, tennis, golfing, anywhere we know the rules and we got a level playing floor and we understand the game, we can play. Anywhere we don't understand the rules, we don't play and we don't win. Technology, science, engineering, anywhere we don't understand the rules, we shy away from that. We don't go kayaking because we didn't grow up kayaking. Those are rich people's games. We didn't play rich people's games because we didn't have the money and we don't know the rules. So we can't play the game. So that you don't see many. I went to a meeting with some Goldman Sachs people, and I told them they were making jobs for minorities and trying to create inclusion and all of that. And I said to them, all of that's wonderful and that's good and it's valued and it's a great thing to do. The only problem is I have never met a little black child in an inner city neighborhood and I said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he says, I want to work for Goldman Sachs. Mm. Mm. So you're creating space where there is no appetite. You have to go back and show our children what it looks like to work for Goldman Sachs. Show them people who look like them who work for Goldman Sachs or who work for Morgan Stanley or who work for Xerox, because everything they got to see, oh, I got cold chills. Everything our kids got to see, they became. They're smart. They can learn hip hop at 2 years old. They know all the words to all the songs and who sang them and who they was going with and who they broke up with and where they live. We are not dumb. We're underexposed. Mm-hmm. If we expose our children to more, excuse me, I get excited about stuff like that. But my mother was a teacher, so I grew up in the house with somebody who was very passionate about children. If we expose our children to more, they'll dream bigger. They'll leap higher. Everything we showed them, basketball, football, hip hop, preaching, church, whatever we showed them, they learned it. They did it. They're singing. They're gospel artists. They're running around in the bathroom, singing songs, recording, laying down tracks. They became what we showed them. It's not their fault that we didn't show them anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I love it. During this quarantine, you know, like any kids, our kids have just, you know, they've got schoolwork, they've been wanting to play and do TikToks, but we've been intentional about exposing them to business models and what successful businesses look like. And they are looking at how to build their own businesses. They have their own ideas and tons of other little things like that. I think, as you described so profoundly, we can only be what we see.
Right.
And wow. Well,
they're gonna do whatever they saw you do. Mm-hmm. Because you are gonna be the model. You and your wife are gonna be the model that sets the stage for what they're gonna be. And if you want to strengthen their business acumen, give them $50 and tell them if you turn it into $100, we're going to Disney World. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Here's $50. I want you to come up with a business plan to turn it into $100. And if you're successful, we're going to take a vacation and go wherever it is you go once all this is over. Okay? And then let them come up with a business plan, build a strategy, teach them how to buy things at the lowest price possible, sell it for fair market value, and get the increase of it. Set up a site, do something with it. Give them something to do that's gonna help them in life. Then take the $100 and put it in the stock market and ask them, how is your stock today? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How is your stock today? Do you need to reinvest it? If you reinvest it over here, what is it going to do? What is a bull? What is a bear market? What is a bull market? It's $100. I don't care. It's just $100. Daddy, it's down to $52. My stock value went down. When you got an 8-year-old talking about stock value going down, you're looking at somebody who's going to be the president of a bank.
Right. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, I'm inspired and I'm encouraged because, you know, we over here trying to make some sense on my street. And so, you know, we whiteboarding and bringing them into the money conversations that, you know, I get it. You know, kids stay in a kid's place, but as you described, there are others that bring their kids in, and when they bring them in the room, they bring their kids up.
I am who I am because my parents brought me in the room. I didn't like being in the room. I was bored being in the room. They were paying taxes. They were sitting with this woman named Miss Rutherford. down in Institute, West Virginia, and they were going through whether to file jointly or whether to file separately or whether to pay quarterly or whether to pay annually. And I was bored and it was hot. And I hated it. I absolutely hated it. And I didn't know that subliminally it was going through the pores of my skin, how to organize, how to structure, how to do business, bring them in the room. One final thing I'll share with you.
Yes, sir.
We go. When my mother first got sick, her face twisted, and it actually turned out to be Bell palsy, but we thought it was a stroke. They did brain scans and they found out that she had a tumor in her brain and some leakage there. They had to put a shunt in her brain. When they put a shunt in her brain, things got worse. She started developing Alzheimer's. The doctors asked her, who do you want to make decisions for you should something happen that you're incapacitated and you're unable to think for yourself? And my mother reached past my brother and sister and pointed at me. And she said, whatever he tells you to do that. At that moment, my entire life changed. Because up until the end, I thought I was raising my children to think for themselves. And that was an arduous task alone. But in that moment, I realized, no, I'm raising my children to think for me. That scared me to death. I thought, oh my God, that's a whole different level. One day, I am only going to live off of the fruit of their intelligence. So when you raise children, it's wonderful to teach them to think for themselves. That's great. But the reality is, as you wax older and older, one day it's them they're going to meet with to talk about where to put daddy, where do we put mama, whether we should do this treatment or not. Should we take them off of life support? Should we leave them on life support? How are we going to handle their properties, their holdings? You are raising them to think for you. That changed my whole strategy for how I raise them. It raised the bar on what I expect from you in the level of your intelligence. And intelligence begins by learning what to ask. It is not about what you know. It is not. You don't come to a book with knowledge. You come to a book as a fool. Because if you come to the book as a fool, you'll leave as a professor. So you want to teach them, what do you ask about business? What do you ask in a medical decision? What does it matter? Do we have insurance on this? Are we insured for that? How much are we insured for? Teaching them what to ask. Because one day when you can't talk, your children are going to be your mouth, and their mind is going to be your thoughts. And as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Thank you very much.